Welcome to Diaspora's Career Challenges, where we dive into the questions every diasporas and immigrant loves to hear. Where are you really from? And the classic, what's that accent? Because clearly your name and accent are far more important than your qualifications, right? I am Sweta Regmi, award-winning career strategist and CEO of Teach and Do, with an accent that somehow always manages to steal the spotlight. On this podcast, we will explore the impossible quest of fitting in. From not from here, not from there, to sure, I'll blend in. We'll tackle the joys of code switching, the myth of cultural fit, and why people can never, ever pronounce your name, but somehow they can nail Mikhail Gorbachev every time. If you're done explaining where you're from or why your background makes you too much and not enough for others, well, buckle up. You're in the right place. Let's get into it. When I moved to Canada, I thought my English was pretty okay. I mean, not probably fluent. I couldn't talk like them, the people born here. But I was confident enough until I started hearing the Canadian slangs, and I had no idea what that meant. A lot of times I started nodding, not even asking questions, because I wanted to belong in that environment, in that group. And slowly I started losing my confidence. It was not about my English anymore. It was about not knowing the Canadian slangs, the local languages they use here, the local humor from particular town, particular community. And when I started working in the corporate world, it was whole different field. The jargons from department to department. I went into the banking field, and the people, how they talk there, because I had no banking experience, I was feeling very insecure. I didn't feel the sense of belonging for years. And in a meeting, I started nodding, just pretending that I know. Just wanted to belong in there. And laughed at the joke, the humors, where they use the Canadian slangs. And inside, I was crying. I am pretending this. I need to go look it up. I would never ask because people would think that I am not from here. I'm too new. I don't belong to that seat. And I started Googling. And one day, the manager comes to me and says, "How would you like your coffee? Everyone's ordering coffee. It's on me. It's on tea." I was never a coffee drinker. I mean, I was a chai drinker. She goes to me, "How would you like? 2 sugar, 2 milk, just black coffee?" Too many options for me, and I lost it. I lost my confidence. As simple as saying, "This is what I want." And I said, "Doesn't matter, black coffee is fine." I hated black coffee, but I just said it, "Okay, I'm fine with it." Because I lost everything I had in power to say it that I don't know how to order a coffee. And I made sure the second day I asked people around, the people that I trusted. I liked 2 sugar in my coffee and 2 milk and possibly the cream. What could that be? And they said it would be either triple if you really like sugar too much, or it'd be double. And ever since day, I have stuck to that order when I go into Tim Hortons. I went down from triple to double. I finally found my coffee, and I'm a coffee drinker now. I had no choice. People would be asking me, "Let's go to Timmy's. Where's Timmy's?" And I did not know what Timmy was. I thought it was a name, a guy, until I realized Timmy's was Tim Hortons. I laugh now, but it was not a matter of laughing. It was my confidence tanking down every day when people are talking in the languages that it made me feel, oh my God, I still don't belong here. I'm too new at this. When is it going to be over for me? I have felt that as an immigrant and diasporas trying to fit in all my life until I decided in a corporate, I'm not going to live my life like this. I'm going to ask questions and try to learn instead of pretending I know it all and it's going to be okay. So I would ask questions and I felt good about it. And I started feeling sense of belonging. Now I know it. Next time when they say this, I will know this. I mean, the deck, I did not know what that meant. It was supposed to be a PowerPoint slide. When my manager said, let's take it offline, I did not know what that means. Well, that means whole different chapter. I don't want to talk to you about it here. Let's take it offline. A blue sky thinking, what the hell was that? I thought it's a sky. I'm thinking it's a sky, but it was different ball game there. Then let's circle back. Oh, what do you mean circle back? You get it, right? Those languages that corporate uses and people just don't understand and people just go with the flow. When the coffee orders feels like an IQ test, and when understanding in the meeting feels like I seriously don't belong here, there's some gaps right there. So whose fault is it? So when people start talking in the corporate slang or the slangs, the local, in the particular environment, whose fault is it? Are they trying to do that on purpose? Maybe not. Are they trying to exclude you from the conversations? Maybe not. So what do you do about it? I'm still looking for the answer on that one. It turns out that almost 90% of the Canadian employees use corporate jargon. A survey of workplace practices showed that 79% of respondents believe the language used at work impacts inclusion. See, languages create emotional and psychological control. And it's a power of social belonging. I mean, if the coworkers or managers frequently use cultural references, slangs, or sarcasm tied to the local trends, immigrants and diasporas or different generations may struggle to participate in casual conversations. And that actually builds a rapport and mentorship. And you've lost it because you are made to feel that you do not belong here. I remember one time when I was too new, someone called me, "You're such a fob," and smiled. And I said, "What does that mean?" And sometimes, depending on how you say it, it just doesn't feel right. Later, I learned the fob stands for fresh off the boat, depending on the tone, and it can be loaded with biases. And people still talk about issues. This is so Brampton. This is such a Brown thing. This is such a Scarborough move, you know? It's just the local people understand it. And that comes with the confirmation biases, even at workplace. What does that mean? That's such a Brown thing. It may feel very casual to some of you, but they reveal deeper biases, confirmation biases, who belongs and who does not belong. See, the cultural fit, let's be real here. It's not only about communication style or you just move to the different country, you got to understand this. It's also the communication styles. And sometimes you're left out because you don't understand the local dialects or languages or industry jargon, and you feel what you feel, and you have every right to feel it. You're trying to assimilate, but society in corporate or in a workplace, they don't create that environment sometimes, and whose fault it is, right? Do you laugh at their jokes? Do you talk like them? Can you relate to them quickly when they're putting a humor together in a slang or in a workplace jargon? I did what a lot of immigrants did, which is nodding and laughing and trying to fit in, going to the places where I felt like I didn't belong, but I still attended, until I stopped just pretending I know it all and I started with questions. What does that really mean? Can you dumb it down for me? I actually said those words and I feel great about it now that I do not have to pretend anymore. And that takes courages and sometimes privileges in where you are in your career throughout or in your life to actually say, I don't understand. Can you dumb it down for me? Can you simplify for me? And I didn't have that gut when I started as a newcomer. It took me years to get that privilege. So when there's an exclusion in languages, whether it's a workplace jargon, industry jargon, or slangs, the local humor, there's a disconnect. People feel invisible. It's a human nature. And add that to the immigrant who just moved to the new country, who just started the new role, or someone who just immigrated living here for years and still trying to get used to the languages. How hard they try even to assimilate in the society. But if you don't create that environment at your workplace or within the group you're interacting with, and you create the environment of exclusion, whose fault is it? Deliberately, when you do that, I would like you to be cautious about it. When you're using the terms, the humor, the jargons, are you doing it to sound smart, intellectual, intelligent, to push other people down, knowing that people might struggle understanding you? Or are you doing it because you're used to it? I'd like you to self-reflect, be more opening, ask questions. I use this. Do you know what that means? Love to explain that to you. How hard is it? And the companies can do much better in the workplace. How about you use those words that you've been using for years in the department or in your workplace that you assume that everyone should know as an outsider? How about you include that in your training material, onboarding? In each meeting, how about you put it up on the board if you're trying to use those languages so people can find it no matter where you go? Centralize place, internet, intranet, book, process documents. You can make that as a part of the process. And I've realized that this is the process gap in entire industry where people struggle. And this is where people are made to feel invisible. They don't belong here. It happens for the newcomers who is trying to assimilate and learn the system. It also happens to the people who are pivoting from one industry to the others, one role to the other. It happens to entire human being. And it's even deeper for the people who are immigrant, who are trying to build their identity. And sometimes it destroys their confidence. We, as a professional, we need to be aware of it when we're using the languages that other people might not understand. Be more welcoming without the biases. Just because someone does not understand the humor, you have no right to judge them with your own biases. Imagine when you go from this country to the other country. It would take years for you to understand the local humor, no matter what you do. It takes time. Have empathy and sympathy for people. Boomers have problem with the millennials. Millennials have a problem with the boomers. Gen Zs now with the new slangs. I'm a mother of two, teens at home. Gen Zs, they drive me nuts with the text that I could barely understand. That's a second job to me now. Now what I've started to reflect is I need to understand this instead of judging the Gen Zs. And I decided I'm going to do something about it. I put the blog together with the research. What does the corporate slang look like? What is Canadian slang? What does that really mean? And also I included Gen Z slang. The rich, no cap, low key, whole different world. So if you're leading someone, Gen Z, you gotta know this. And everyone out there, we're all in this together. There's a generation gap. There is the gap in newcomers understanding the languages in Canada. There's a workplace jargon. Everyone goes through this. We need to create the environment where everyone feels home. Everyone feels a sense of belonging. It should be the other way around as well. Instead of telling people, try to fit in, make an effort to educate people. Create that environment, safe environment where the questions are welcome. So before you move or change the jobs, prepare that you're going to feel lost at some point with the local languages, local humor, workplace jargon. Research the local workplace jargons. Understand the industry jargon. Ask about acronyms if you don't understand. Build your own glossary items so you can refer it back to. As a diaspora professionals, you are not alone. And I'm here to tell you that it's going to be okay. And I'm here to tell you that we're going to feel what we feel. But now what are we going to do about it? We're going to go and educate people who are newcomers and not laugh at them and teach them how do you assimilate in the society right here, wherever you're moving. We have our own duty to educate people so they don't go through the same stuff that we've gone through years. Instead of having a biases and judgment, let's help them out. Let's advocate for them. Because inclusion is not about only hiring someone with a different background. It's making sure they don't have to decode the culture just to do their job, make their job easier. And for those people where English is not your first language, there are people who are born and raised in Canada, they struggle with the same corporate slangs and the workplace jargons. I've seen it, I witness it. So start asking questions, and you're not alone in this one. Because if you don't, you will feel what I felt years ago. All right, let me just go to Timmy's to go and order my double-double. Now I'm speaking in a Canadian lingo. See you next time. And that's the wrap for today's episode, Diaspora's Career Challenges, where blending in is overrated and fitting in to someone else's mold is so last season. If you love this sarcasm, don't forget to subscribe, share, and I'd really appreciate your review. I'm here to remind you that you're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. Your accent is still a mystery to some. Who cares? So the next time someone asks, "Where's that accent from?" just smile and say, "Oh, don't worry. It's called unique. You'll get used to it." Where can you connect with me? I'm all over on social media. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And I do have a free resources for job search and career under teachingdo.com/free resources.